in the days when the ocean winds carried ships from distant lands, and the Cape was a place where many worlds met. There lived a sultan whose palace gleamed white against the blue sky. Traders came from across the seas, Arabs with spices, Malays with silks, Africans with gold and ivory, and the markets bustled with voices in many tongues. It was a time of plenty, a time when the Cape Malay kingdom stood proud. In the heart of the palace lived Princess Zainab, the Sultan's youngest daughter. She was known not only for her beauty, but for her restless spirit. Her sisters dreamed of jewels and husbands, of gardens and servants, but Zainab's heart wandered beyond the palace walls. She would stand by the balcony at night, gazing at the sea, her mind full of questions the elders could not answer. The Sultan loved her dearly, but he was a man bound to duty. In his council sat Vizier Karim, an old man who valued tradition above all else. And beside him was Queen Amina, Zainab's mother, who understood the secret fire that lived in her daughter's eyes. One season, a prince from a neighboring land came with drums, horses, and soldiers. He bowed before the Sultan and declared, "I have seen your daughter Zainab, and I wish to take her as my wife." The court held its breath. The Sultan stroked his beard. The vizier nodded with approval. But the queen mother looked at her daughter, and her heart grew heavy, for she knew Zainab's spirit was not ready to be bound. Zainab bowed before her father and spoke with calm but steady words. "If I must marry, let it be on my own terms. I ask for 3 gowns, one made of silver, one made of gold, and one made of diamonds. Until these are given, I cannot be wed." The hall murmured. Who had ever heard of such a demand? But the Sultan, caught between duty and love, agreed. He summoned the best tailors, jewelers, and smiths in the land. Night and day they worked, melting silver, spinning gold, setting diamonds. The whole kingdom whispered of the princess who asked for the impossible. But hidden deep in her chamber, Zainab kept a secret. Many years earlier, a wandering woman had given her a gift, a cloak of wolfskin. "When the world seeks to bind you," the woman had said, "this cloak will give you freedom. It carries the spirit of the wild. Use it wisely." Zainab had never dared to wear it, but now as the dresses were woven, her heart knew the time was near. The first gown, silver, was completed. Its threads shone like moonlight. Zainab wore it in the day, and the people marveled. But when night fell, she closed her chamber doors, took the wolfskin from its hiding, and wrapped it around herself. The air shifted. Her breath grew hot. Her eyes glowed golden. Her form stretched, half woman, half wolf. In silence, she leapt from her balcony and ran into the night. Through the forest she roamed, her cloak trailing like smoke, her feet swift as the wind. She hunted with the wolves, she howled at the moon, she tasted freedom. By dawn, she returned, silent, slipping the silver gown back over her body. To the court, she was still Zainab, obedient daughter. But in truth, she had become something more, the Wolf Queen. Days turned to weeks. The gown of gold was finished, then the gown of diamonds. Each time, Zainab accepted them with grace, but at night, she wore the wolfskin and fled to the wild. The prince grew impatient. He declared, "I have fulfilled her demands. When will she be mine? But the Sultan hesitated. He saw the light in his daughter's eyes, the freedom in her step. Still, he could not break tradition. Preparations for the wedding began. On the eve of the ceremony, Zainab stood before her mirror, the diamond gown heavy on her shoulders. She touched the wolfskin cloak lying hidden in her chest. She thought of her father's pride, her mother's sorrow, her people's expectations. But she also thought of the hills, the forests, the life that called her. That night, under the full moon, Zainab made her choice. She wrapped the wolfskin around herself, her body trembling with power, and became the wolf queen once more. But this time, she did not return. She ran farther than before, beyond the hills, beyond the rivers, until the palace was only a memory. Some say she lived among the wolves for the rest of her days, a queen of the wilderness, feared and admired. Others say she would sometimes return, unseen, watching her family from the shadows. And there are those who believe she still roams the Cape on moonlit nights, a silver-cloaked figure whose howl carries through the wind. Her story carries a lesson. Freedom has a price. To follow one's heart is to walk a path of loneliness and strength. Princess Zainab chose not the safety of jewels, but the danger of the wild. And for that, she is remembered not only as the daughter of the Sultan, but as the Wolf Queen, ruler of her own fate.